What's good, everyone? This is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. And man, this will be an exciting show. I got my brother from no other, Swag Buzz, in the building. How you doing, my brother?
Doing good. How you doing tonight, DJ?
Man, it's a blessing, man. Swag football, 10 days away? Well,
Yeah, the
for the
MEAC,
Jackson State game.
actually the MEAC and SWAC challenge, Alcorn State plays this weekend. So
Oh, that should be
yeah,
interesting. Felix
yeah.
Harper. He's a they call him Trigger Man.
Oh yeah, he's nice. So
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely hopefully they win and represent the SWAC well.
so even though the title is why do some people, hating on Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, we want all the SWAC schools to win their non-conference games. We want them to put on a show and to show that this conference has depth and it could be a beacon of light to our people to let them know that, hey, we don't need to be joining other conferences. We can have everything right here. And that's the potential. A lot of talented quarterbacks. Felix Harper of Alcorn, Akil Glass of Alabama A&M. I like that Nettles kid from Alabama State. He has talent. Shadir Sanders, and I know he's a freshman, but still he has talent. He's a 4-star pocket passer. I want to ask you, Swag, as a JSU alum and someone who knows the SWAC like you do, why do you think that some people may hate on Deion in Jackson State?
Well, in the SWAC, it's a lot of love in the SWAC. It's a lot of schools and we have a lot of rivalries and things like that. So a lot of the hate isn't fun, but some of it can be a little bit of jealousy. They're jealous that their school is down right now. And Jackson State's been down for years. We haven't been good. So just having all that newfound attention on Jackson State, some people get bitter about that. They get bent out of shape about that. So it's just things like that that makes people kind of jealous and they throw shots at Jackson State. But one thing I think that their Prime is getting so much heat from outside fans and things like that is because he's new in the SWAC. They had this thing called SWAC hours. You don't have your SWAC hours, So when you come into the SWAC, you're new. People are gonna haze you a little bit. You're gonna get hazed a little bit. So Deion has to come in and win. And then on the flip side, a lot of people don't want to see him win quickly because how would that make the SWAC look if he comes in and just dominates? So a lot of people feel like, okay, if he come in and dominate, he's gonna make the SWAC look bad. It's gonna make it feel like he just run the SWAC. And then a lot of people don't like the fact that he's coming into this SWAC conference. He's new and he's the top man. He's the face of the SWAC right now. So a lot of people don't like that. You got the old school people that just don't like this new found fame and having somebody new that's not a SWAC alumnus, representing the SWAC like that. So it's just a little bit of jealousy going on.
Man, that's an excellent point. And I get the SWAC. My father, for those who don't know, went to Fairview A&M from the mid 80s to, I think 86 to so forth. So he's been around the SWAC. Actually, I was gonna go to that school. I went to a different one.
Went, man.
I should have.
You should have went.
But brother, and I can admit to this: when you're young, you're not informed of how great HBCUs are. I had a conversation with my father about colleges, right? And he would tell me how great PV was and how made him the man he was. And I was young. You know how you're young, you're like, well,
Hmm.
but I want to go to this school.
I was
And
man.
he's
Let me tell you something. I was the same way. I actually was in a band in high school, so I wanted to go to FAMU. And when I went to college, I actually wanted to go to Tallahassee and go to FAMU, but I ended up getting a job at the hospital in Jackson, Mississippi, University of Mississippi Medical Center. And man, I started working there, and then I just went on to Jackson State because I had grew up at Jackson State. I didn't necessarily want to go to Jackson State because I grew up there. It was all I knew. I was on that campus as a little kid, going to summer camps. I stayed in the dorm on campus at Jackson State as a high schooler because I was in the Upward Bound program. I stayed in Dixon Hall, the dormitory that I would eventually stay in when I went to school there. So I stayed in Dixon Hall as a high school student, and then I went when I got to Jackson State as a freshman. I stayed in Stewart Hall, and then I moved to Dixon Hall. So it was just kind of crazy. Like I pretty much grew up on that campus, so I kind of wanted to go out of state and just experience a new state. But the way God planned it, I guess I ended up at Jackson State, and man, it was a great experience. I love my experience. There, I had a lot of fun. My teachers, I was close to my teachers. You can go talk to your professors and everything. You have a close relationship with them. If I go back on campus now, I still go to my my dean at the time, well, the chairman of my department at the time, because I was in the College of Business. My chairman at the department at the time, his name is Dr. Smith. Cool guy. He's a Omega too, but he's a cool guy. I could still go to his office and chop it up with him, man. He's hilarious. It's just that kind of close family atmosphere that you get at a HBCU that you won't get much of that at these other institutions. Not a close knit family like that.
Man, I know you saw that video of the JSU players talking about their first day of school with Coach Prime.
Man, what?
Man, they was
Man,
cheesing like a mug.
it was the exact same thing for me and my friends, man. Like when you walk down that plaza, because we had this thing called a plaza at Jackson State. So it's this long concrete street that runs. Well, it used to be a street back in the day, but now it's like a concrete. They paved over in a concrete plaza. It's like a plaza with bricks, with like decorative bricks on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Greek areas, the Greek plots, and everything go down on each side. But yeah, man, that's where the parties are. Like at 12 o'clock noon, every day they have like a jam session where they have a DJ out and just people all out on the yard. It's like a party in the middle of the day, like 12 noon, like every day in the middle of the day. And so being, a freshman, their first day, you go out there and you just seeing all the women, all the people just being in the atmosphere, man. It's a great thing. It's an unbelievable feeling when you're out there. So I can just imagine, I can just imagine what they were going through and how they felt when they had their first day, especially if you were in the liberal arts building. Like the liberal arts building is where, you take the English classes and things like that. And when you let out a class in the liberal arts building, it's so tight knit that everybody's just right there. And so when you let out a class in the liberal arts building, it's just like people everywhere. So it's like
Man,
if you looking at that young girl that you may want to talk to, that's the place. You got all time opportunity to do it at that point because I mean that's just how it is, man. It's a amazing people take it for
my
granted
advice to the
when
players,
when
bro.
they when they experience. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, it was a little
What's
delayed
your
on my end, but I was saying my advice to the players: the gr- greater things happen when you're winning. If you keep
yeah,
winning,
yeah,
Coach Prime,
yeah, keep winning.
he alluded to it on the Instagram.
What I would tell them too is that, get your girlfriend or whatever, if you want to, but focus on football. Keep like Coach Brown say, keep the main thing, you know, and live your life. Y'all young, live your life. Uh I wouldn't recommend trying to tie yourself down because that's a mistake I made. When I was in college, like my freshman year, I had my freshman year, and then I got a girlfriend, and me and her moved in together. So for the remainder of my college my next 3 years of college, I was pretty much in like a marriage type situation, shacking up pretty much. So I wouldn't recommend any of them do that. Just go there, have your fun, and live your life, man. Y'all young, y'all out here, man. Y'all got this hype and popularity right now. Enjoy it, soak up these years because you'll never get them back.
Man, you ain't lying about that. And I'm checking out these. I look at the swag pages, man. It's very entertainment, man. And again, I always say there's no problem with rooting for your school to win. For one of them, if it to beat Jackson State, hey, I'm all for it. But there's another thing when you look at the talent, you look what their team concept is, and you're gonna say, oh, they're probably gonna lose 4 games. They're gonna have a letdown. See, that's not common sense. Common sense will say if they do lose games, it's probably 2. Unless there's like a mass injury. And Swag Buzz, he's gonna come right back. But I've been seeing all that. It's okay to say that, hey, I hope my team beats Jackson State. No problems with that. And
I can hear you now.
You back on?
Yeah, I'm back on. I can hear you now. For some reason, you cut out. I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying is, yeah, I'm all for rooting for your school to beat Jackson State, especially if that's a rival.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the predictions have been delusional. I've seen someone say they're gonna lose 5 games. This team is so talented. I'm looking at the tea leaves and not just highlights. I'm looking at the reports. This team is so talented. All Coach Primer has to do is coach at a regular B level. Doesn't have to be A plus. That would be great, but it could be just average.
Yeah, I mean, with the players Coach Prime has, I just can't see him losing. Like, not in the SWAC conference. Like, Alcorn would be a tough game. Will be a tough game because they have a good team, but I really just don't see anybody else. I mean, Alabama A&M has a good offense, but I just don't see. I think the new defense Jackson State has, they would give a Kill Glass a tough time. So I don't see it. I know a lot of people are thinking that it's gonna be a dud and they're gonna be a fluke or whatever. But man, I don't see it, man. When I watch these clips of them practicing and I see the way Shador throwing the ball, like you could just tell the difference. Like the ball pops out of his hands. It's a tight spiral. He anticipate well. Like man, he just looks great, and I just don't see if that offensive line and defensive line of Jackson State do what they're supposed to do. I don't see Jackson State losing. I don't see anybody being a threat except probably Alcorn.
For the swag sake, and I think it would be great for the swag, by the way, if Jackson State goes undefeated, you think this class is going to be something?
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
keep up with recruiting, especially in Texas, brother. I know a couple of coaches, they watch my show on the low. Y'all know who you are. Good friends of mine went to school with. They do they're position coaches. They're involved with recruiting big high schools. I'm telling you right now that they said if Jackson State, because we talk about these things. I said, what if Jackson State goes undefeated? What if they turn the table? And they will always tell me, a kid sees that. So there's 3 things that has to happen. They have to win a SWAC. Because if you want to level the playing field, winning a SWAC starts.
Yeah.
Then
true.
they have to have a player or 2. I say at least 2 players get drafted. I would love for it to be more. So if 2 players get, what'd you say, brother?
I think Deion Warren would get drafted. So,
oh yeah, I
and
know that
he's
for
like
sure.
Deion's protege, and so I know a lot of NFL teams probably looking at that, and so I definitely think he's gonna get drafted. And I think Aubrey Miller, if I'm not mistaken, he's gonna try to come out too after this season. And I think he
Mm-hmm.
has some NFL teams looking at him as well because I mean he has the NFL body. Like he's a grown man out there, man. Guy's huge, man. So yeah,
Right.
I think Aubrey Miller and Dejon Warren will be the probably the top two that Coach Prime probably try to shop with the NFL. In my opinion, that's my
What
opinion.
about
You know.
Keontae Hampton,
Oh
tryout
yeah,
player?
definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely
Man,
him.
they can have three.
Yeah. So yeah, Aubrey Miller, Hampton, and Dejon Warren. That's all on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah,
Mm.
hopefully, and Warren Newman on the offensive side of the ball. Now he may not get drafted, or he may go in the later rounds because of his size. But I can see him being a Darren Sproles type back in the NFL. You know, he's very fast, he's very quick, he has good hands, good feet, moves well. So I think he could definitely make it on the next level.
One big advantage that Jackson State has in recruiting, Deion Sanders has a pipeline from Texas to Florida. He's from Fort Myers, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He lived in Texas. I'll tell you, these coaches, they said if Jackson State goes undefeated, you heard it first, they have a good chance of having a better class than last year, which was 55. They could literally go late 20s. If they go undefeated and then the kids start seeing them produce and having draft picks, I think Warren Newman will be a tryout player. He's too quick.
Yeah.
And you put him in preseason games and have him in some returns, you never know. Like Boston Scott. Boston Scott, I don't think he was drafted. He was a small player from Louisiana Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And now he gets a roster spot every time because they need scat backs like him. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to count out Warren Newman. But those three players you said, Aubrey Miller, number one, Dejon Warren, that's number one right there.
Yeah.
Aubrey Miller and Keontae Hampton, those are the players that Coach Prime got to push to make the pros. And now for offense, that's later on. Like Malachi Wideman, I think he has enormous NFL potential.
Yeah. See, the thing about it is, when it comes to Prime, like recruiting and everything, when that documentary comes out, that's gonna be big because you're gonna see a lot of players getting a lot of attention. Like some of these players at Jackson State are gonna be getting more attention than players on the FBS level at Power Five schools. You got Jackson State players being on TV. You got Coach Prime making commercials with Coach Saban. Like the the Jackson State program is getting a lot of publicity, and so a player gonna see that. A player at a D1 Power Five school, they're gonna see that like, hey man, I'm sitting over here on the bench. You know, I got all these 5 stars in front of me. I'm sitting on the bench. Don't nobody know me when I can just go to Jackson State, get publicity. I can play quick, and I can get out there on the field. You know, so Deion is gonna have a lot of stuff in. Well, Coach Prime. I don't want to call him Deion. Coach Prime. Coach Prime is gonna have. He's gonna have a lot of stuff. To shop to these kids when he go on these recruiting trips. Like, hey, look, you can go to Clemson or Alabama and sit for 2 years, sit for 2 or 3 years, or you can come to me. You can play right away, and then we're gonna get you publicity. We're gonna get you looked at by scouts. The Saints and the Ravens was just at Jackson State practices earlier this week. So
Mm-hmm.
you're getting the looks. You're gonna get the looks, So they're gonna all be at that. It's gonna be hella scouts at the FAMU Jackson State game. So you're gonna get looks. You just got to do your job and play your part, and show your work when you go out there in front of those scouts. You just got to do your thing, and they'll call you up. The NFL will find talent. I think
Oh,
last
right.
year was a fluke. The pandemic happened, but I don't think this draft is coming up. there are going to be HBCU players in this draft that's coming up. Definitely.
And brother, I'll be surprised if Akil Glass is not drafted. But the talent he has, the size, he
Yep.
looks like a
Size, everything.
prototypical quarterback.
And I mean, he anticipates amazing. Like he know where to place the ball to where only his receivers can get it. You know, he doesn't have the strongest arm. Like he's not taking big shots, super big shots down the field, but he's smart and he knows where to put the ball. So I like him a lot. I like watching him. He's kind of like, and I like how he has that freaky style, like like Patrick Mahomes. He can make crazy
Mm-hmm.
throws like that. But like Patrick Mahomes has a very strong arm, but Akil has that. He has that improvisation when he's
Right.
out there on the field. So yeah, I like Akil a lot. I think he's gonna get drafted, maybe fourth, fifth, sixth round, but somebody's definitely they're gonna pick him up. He's gonna make it.
Yeah, I like his. I just like his game. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, as you know. We don't have a good backup quarterback. I would love for the Cowboys in the
Yeah,
2022 draft to get a
yeah, I
player.
definitely see him being. I see him being somebody like a backup quarterback, and then he'll probably get his opportunity.
Right.
Um, yeah, he'll get his opportunity like probably year 2, year 3, or something like that, or unless he just goes into a preseason and just blow the doors off, just goes out there and shows out and just take the spot of the starter if he's on the team like, a good, like say for instance, like he went to the Broncos. I like Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater is pretty much a game man. He's not gonna go out there and win
Facts.
you a game. So if you have somebody like Akil Glass in preseason behind Teddy Bridgewater, I think Akil Glass can take that. You know, that's just my opinion though.
Man, from watching Ben DiNucci and company for the Dallas Cowboys, I'll be jumping for joy if they could get a kill glass. I'm
Yeah,
saying that right now.
yeah, yeah. I'm rooting for him though. I hope he makes it because that'll be really big for the swag. Just kids they need to see that. They need to see,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, I can go to a swag school, be a quarterback, and I can make it. And that'll just bring more kids in. So I love what the swag is doing, man. The trajectory the conference is on is good, man. We're going upwards, you know. And this is just
One of
year one.
one of the things I'm impressed with Coach Prime is when he talks about building within and growing the platforms out. It's not just Jackson State.
hmm Yeah, he wants to
It,
do.
it,
He wants to show love for everybody. He wants to help everybody. And so a lot of people have to understand the benefit that we're getting. Like, let's not focus on the negative. Let's focus on the good that he's gonna do this conference. We're getting more publicity than we ever had. We're getting free promotion, free marketing that other schools will have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to get. You know, so yeah, man, I love what he's doing, and I think people, you have those people that that's kind of jealous and make these bitter comments, but we can't worry about them. We got to be moving up. We got to be thinking about the next big thing. We got to be trying to level this playing field for all HBCUs, so we can
mm-hmm.
be on the same level as these Power Five and Group of Five schools.
Exactly, man. I'm excited for the swag, man. I know the popular topic is JSU. They're doing their damn thing. They got a series coming up. They're really transforming content in HBCUs. We know we had talented teams like North Carolina, A&T. They're good, but the
hmm
way that Jackson State is doing it, this shit is impressive.
Yeah,
And
and we can
I'm
do more.
start facts, and I'm starting to see all these other teams. Man, my family comes from SWAC schools, but I never paid attention to all these teams and what they got going on like I'm doing now.
Yeah, and a lot of them are doing more on social media now. So,
Mm-hmm.
and so they see what Jackson State is doing, and but I like that. That's why I want all the SWAC schools to beef up their social media presence, start putting out these videos so these kids can know, oh, okay, that's Alcorn, okay, that's UAPB, oh, okay, I like their colors, I like their uniforms, I like what they look. Let me look into them. You got to have stuff like that. You got to have the drip and all this other kind of stuff that these kids like to see to lure them in. Show the campus life, show what they're going to be getting into when they get on campus and things like that. So they can want to, visit your school and things and, just choose an HBCU. But one thing I would like to see these HBCUs do is take advantage of streaming platforms. Like, think
Right.
about it. Think if you strike a deal with Netflix, Hulu, somebody like that to stream SWAT games in HD, and just you if you have a subscription to that app every Saturday or Sunday, you can watch those games. You can watch any game or any playback. I think that's something that the commissioner and the ADs they should look into. Try to get with a streaming platform.
Man, that's an excellent idea, man.
Yeah, just think about it,
Man, they
man.
gotta take
Swag
advantage of
on
it.
Netflix. They strike a deal with Netflix to
Boy,
show their games. Like so, or Amazon Prime. Amazon Video. It's Apple. You got Apple. You got all these streaming platforms now. They would. I'm telling you, they would invest in black football because they would get viewers. People will watch this stuff. So I think that's something that they definitely should be trying to take advantage of. And I don't think
that's
no other conference is doing it like that.
no, and that's all the swag needs, really. The attendance is great. I
Hmm.
mean, there's so many people going to swag games. I know people may say it's just the attendance, but that's just half the piece. If they get these revenue deals and be creative with it, just like what Swag Buzz was talking about, man, that will open the floodgates of just bringing power within your conference.
Yep. Yep.
And all I want to see from SWAC schools going forward, I want to see them go against Sam Houston State, North Dakota State off conference. If there's a way to set that up, SWAC versus uh, what's these called, Big Sky or I think the WAC conference
Yeah, I think.
or
I mean,
Big
you're gonna
South.
see a lot of that. You're gonna see a lot of that in the future. I think like Coach Prime was talking about talking to the Big 12. I think Coach Prime, if well, I don't know, I'm not in his head, so I don't know exactly what he's thinking. But if I can, if I'm thinking like him, trying to think like him, I believe that he wants to play these big programs. He wants to play schools that's gonna get his kids on TV. You know,
Mm.
there's gonna be TV games. You know, so I think that's probably where he's trying to go when he's scheduling these games. In my opinion, that's what I
And
would do.
brother, I was trying to tell people that they was like, oh, Coach Prime is just trying to leave the SWAC and go to Big 12. You know how many years that takes?
Yeah.
Man,
I don't know
it
why
took
people are saying that.
Appalachian
That's
State
crazy.
so many years, bro.
Yeah. You have to you have to win a little bit. You have to win and show your worth, and then you can go to the Big 12. That all that was marketing.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
that's
why
what I was
people
trying to
even
tell them.
yeah, I don't know why people even took that seriously, but that was just marketing. But yeah, I think he's just trying to schedule some games, some TV games. Imagine Jackson State playing. Texas not gonna be in there anymore. But imagine Jackson State playing Baylor,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas, TCU. A school like that. That game would be put on TV. So and that would be a good experience for Jackson State players to go in a hostile atmosphere like that. Because at TCU and Baylor, fans gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy atmosphere. So that'll be a good experience for them.
Man, it would be. And
I'm ready for this Orange Blossom Classic though.
oh man, it's gonna be turned up, man. It's gonna be
Yeah.
turned up.
I
And
hate I'm not gonna be there, but I'm gonna try to stream the game on my channel as well. I'm gonna try to stream it and let people call in and have discussions about the game during halftime and things like that.
Hey, y'all heard it first, man. You know I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna support. Question about Shadir Sanders: what is a good year for him, realistically?
Um, a good year for him, in my opinion. He's gonna get scrutiny anyway. Like if he can lose 2 or 3 games. He's gonna get heat from a lot of people. But I think if he lose 3 games, I'm okay with that. If he does, let me see, uh if he throws for like 3,500 yards, I'm okay with that. I want him to have a 6 touchdown game. Like I want him to do something that's gonna be like that wow factor. That's gonna be like, okay, ESPN and everybody's gonna be talking about him because he threw 6 or 7 touchdowns in a game. I want him to do something big to really put his stamp out there that okay, he's for real. He's a freshman, so we got to give him time to grow. He's a phenom, but he's a freshman, so give him time to grow. I think I think if he lose no more than 3 to 4 games, I think that's a good season for him.
Yeah, for Shadir Sanders, man. Even though he's a 4-star recruit, pocket passer, like I stated earlier in the video, he's still a freshman, and there's going to be growing pains here and there. But with this talent and the coaching staff, there's NFL former coaches on here who've seen the game, who've seen these coverages. I think he'll get better every game. Now, whether he's game managing or not, sometimes it's not a bad thing. Jacoby Brissett was a game manager at North Carolina State, and he got drafted.
I don't think he's going to be a game manager though,
No, me
because
neither.
I think they're going to open the playbook for him. Like they're gonna. I think Coach Prime is just going to unleash him. Like I think Coach Prime has the ultimate confidence in him to make the throws. I think game one, I think they're just going to be like, just go out there, do what you do. You know. I think they're going to unleash him, and and when they play FAMU, I'm expecting him to be nervous in the first quarter. I'm expecting him to make mistakes in the first quarter. This is going to be his first college game. And I remember I watched one interview. He said that he hasn't played with more than 500 people in the stands, at games. So this what 65K? Like
Right.
this is gonna be an adjustment for him. This is gonna be something new. So as soon as that first quarter hit, he see all the crowd, he's gonna have some jitters. So I'm expecting some mistakes. I'm expecting some bad throws. I'm expecting him to, get himself together in the second quarter, and then we'll really see what he's about towards the end of the second quarter and for the rest of the game. That's what I'm expecting. So if he makes some mistakes in the first quarter, I'm expecting that.
Absolutely. And for Shadir, uh, when it stat wise for him, it just depends on scenarios. I think some games will be 250, 250 yards
Yeah.
and probably three touchdowns here and there. That's if the running
Hmm.
game is going. If the defense is stout and your running game is going, I can't call someone a game manager if they don't have, let's say, 300 plus yards or 400 yards. I can't really fault him because there will be a game or a couple of games. And Swag Buzz, you've been seeing how this defense is, where a
Yeah.
team can run nowhere. One end will be Aubrey Miller, the other end will be uh, Keontae Hampton. And then you got the D tackles that you upgraded. So there's going to be a game where a team will struggle to even get to 100 yards rushing. I'm talking about the opposing
Yeah.
teams. So
Yeah.
if they're doing that, and let's say Tyson Alexander and Pickett are this run shop these teams, then Shadir doesn't have to get 300 yards. He doesn't have to get 400 yards.
What I think he should score no less than two TDs a game.
I
I
agree
think
with
that
that.
should be his average. He should average two or more TDs a game, especially if the defense is clicking like that, because if the defense is dominating, that's gonna get an offense more possessions. So he's gonna have more opportunities to score. So yeah, I think two TDs a game is a good place for him to be.
I'm on that bandwagon right there.
Yeah.
With these weapons, man, and I don't want to put pressure on Shadir, but it should be easy. He shouldn't have less than 2 touchdowns passing with weapons. Keith Corbin,
Mm-hmm.
Weidman. This team is just.
You got
Rucker.
Warren
Some of these
Newman.
players may come off the
You got
bench.
Shane
Warren Newman,
Hooks,
Kadarius Davis.
Josh Lanier. Like they wide receiver room is crazy, man. Like they got some talent out there. Then you got Shane Hooks. He just can jump up and go get it. 6'5".
Oh man,
Like yeah. So man, I'm just ready to see. I'm just ready to see it, man. I'm just ready to see this offense they're gonna put out. You know, I want to see them taking shots down the field. Because in the SWAC, that's what we do in the SWAC. We throw the ball. We throw the ball. I don't know if
mm-hmm.
like some people they probably just started watching SWAC games, but if you watch those old games in the past, man, crazy games going one way or another. Like this Southern Jackson State game, if you look for it on YouTube, I think it was like the last few minutes of the game, like the scoring leads kept changing, throwing long passes and everything. Like that's just what we do in the SWAC. The games are unpredictable. You don't know who's gonna win. So, I'm high on Jackson State, but I know in the SWAC, like they say, it's rough in the SWAC. Like that's the saying. That's why that saying is what it is. It's rough in the SWAC because any given week you can be beat. Almost most of all the games are rivalries. So, Grambling, Grambling is no pushover. I respect the G because I already know, like, if you play Grambling, they're gonna be trying to beat you. They're not gonna lay down for anybody. Grambling is a proud program. They have rich history, so they're not gonna lay down for anybody. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
they had a bad spring season, but I'm expecting them to do better this season. But I'm not expecting them to do quite as well as a lot of people might think they are. I know a lot of people. I made a video about their schedule, and a lot of people, were mad saying that we got new players coming in too, but I just don't see them being as good. But I still respect the G, and I know when they play Jack State, they're gonna play Jack State hard. So yeah, man, in the SWAC, man, no, it's no weeks off in the SWAC.
Really, when it comes to the SWAC and their weaknesses, and I brought this up on another show, it's not the skill talent. It was always the trenches on the offensive line and defensive line. If you put some of these skilled players on teams that have a top-notch D-line, offensive line, they wouldn't think SWAC teams weren't as good. I've seen Alabama State play Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
They look
Oh yeah,
very respectable in the first quarter. And guess what happened? The trenches tired them out. And
Ezra Gray is gonna be another guy that goes to the NFL too.
oh yeah,
He tore Auburn up too. So yeah, he's gonna be another one. But yeah, man, all the skill positions, the talent is there. It's just the trenches. It's just like, so from what I've seen, and it's just my opinion. People might think differently. Uh, in the trenches, SWAC schools were kind of undersized. So I think now going forward, a lot of schools are going to start recruiting bigger players, more athletic, bigger linemen, especially since Deion, that's what he's going after now. So, and just like it's a copycat league. So your competition is recruiting this type of player. You're going to have to follow suit in order to compete. So I expect I expect the SWAC schools to start recruiting bigger linemen, 6'5", 300, like that size to like NFL size linemen. Like Coach Prime sent one of his Coach O to the Vikings. He sent him to the Vikings. He learned about what NFL teams are looking for, the measurables they're looking for, so they know what to recruit going forward. To get their boys to the NFL. So yeah, like in the trenches is what's
Man,
going to
that's very
change going
innovative
forward.
right there.
Yeah.
To have Coach Prime send Coach O, the recruiting coordinator, to an NFL organization to watch all their inner workings, player personnel. He's coming back and say, "This is what we got to do for player development. This
Mm-hmm.
is big time for Jackson State's future." Uh, and I didn't even mention most of the defensive players. Before I do that, uh, don't forget Olive Brown. He's a freshman from Georgia,
Oh yeah.
speedster. Man, they got weapons everywhere, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna make a video on the receivers, man. Kind of because I think this receiving core is gonna be one for the ages, man. I really do.
Hey, did you notice something? Because defense had their way a couple of days when Shadir Sanders was throwing them bombs, empty formation. That's going to be the death blow right there. The empty formation that Jackson State has. I'm telling you right now, good luck defending that
Yeah.
because everybody spread out, 5
Mm-hmm.
receivers.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna do that a lot. Like I think they're just gonna be taking shots down the field, couple of slants. Yeah, because they got the kind of receivers that have the athleticism to do a slant route and take it upfield, take it to the house. So man, yeah, I can't wait to see what they do.
Question: how do you think Shiloh Sanders will perform this year at safety?
I think he's gonna be a beast. Like I said in my videos, I know I've seen some people complaining, talking about he doesn't wrap up and he shoulder tackles a lot, but like I said in my video, as long as he go through, like as long as you go through a player when you shoulder tackle, like that's fine, you know. But I would like to see him wrap up. But I like his speed. His closing speed is really good. And he hits hard. He plays mean. So I love what he's doing. He's a speedster, and like they call him the CEO headache gang. So yeah,
Right.
man, he's gonna be out there. He's gonna be out there hitting people. Man.
So free safety, well, the other safety spot. It's I'm thinking that I may be wrong. I think they're gonna have CJ Holmes at the other safety because he could play
Yeah,
corner and free safety.
yeah, he's
So
good too, and he got good
I,
hands.
I'm thinking this may not be on point. So the corners will be uh DeJohn Nugget Warren, other side. I'm hearing some things about the brother, the transfer from what's his name again? Because he's really performing from Southeast Missouri. What is his name?
Southeast.
Because he's killing it right now. What I'm hearing.
I can't even think about who you talking about.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
He said Southeast Missouri.
Yeah.
What number
Al
is he?
Young. Al Young.
Oh, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. I
So
haven't watched him much. I need to go find some clips on him.
they say he killing it at Cal. So what I'm thinking is, because I know they're gonna have a nickel corner. Uh DeJohn Nugget Warren, Isaiah Bolden, Al
Yeah,
Young at the slot, nickel. Um Safeties will be Shiloh and CJ Holmes. CJ Holmes, I think he's going to do some safety, some corner that's actually good for NFL
yeah,
scouts.
yeah. He got good hands too, so I expect him to get a few picks this year.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
He
I
was all
expect.
swag in 2019, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yep. Um, and I expect Dejon Warren to get a few picks this season too. I don't think a lot of people gonna test him though. I don't think a lot of people gonna throw to his side. But yeah, I think he's gonna get a lot of picks this season.
I'm gonna tell you
He
how.
needs to though.
Oh yeah, he does. I'm gonna tell you how he's gonna get those picks. There's gonna be accident throws. That D line, when the D
Mm-hmm.
line's coming at you, and you just got to get that ball off quick. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I love the way he plays, man. He's quick and he has very good instincts, you know. So yeah, and he just started. I think I seen it in the interview. He said that he just started playing. He just started playing his position like a few years ago, but he
Yeah,
just
he's new
has
to
that
the
natural.
position.
Yeah, he just has that natural talent. He's picking it up everything quick, and that's really why he wanted to come to Jackson State to get coached by Deion. He get coached by the best corner ever. So you know, that's I mean it's a perfect match. You know, he's pretty much Deion's project right now. So I think Deion is
Mm-hmm.
gonna turn him into a diamond, man. I'm telling you. That dude, I think he's gonna represent Jackson State well in the league, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna get drafted.
I'm a big believer in that. Who's your
Yeah.
sleeper on the team? Like someone that's not being talked about enough, but when they get that, when the bright lights come on, the whole world is about to see them wreck shop.
My sleeper on the team, I would have to say Warren Newman. I know he's been there and he's been doing his thing for a while, but I think a lot of people are gonna forget about him because we got all these new people coming in. But I think he's gonna be really big this season. I think he's gonna have a lot of big runs, and I think he's gonna really make his case for the NFL this season. So he's one player that I'm gonna be really looking out for. And I like, he kind of got that underdog feel, so I just kind of want him to do good.
Right.
He's a small guy. He's out there with these big titans pretty much, and he's doing his thing, man. So I really want to see him succeed. So yeah, he's my sleeper pick.
And the good thing about Warren Newman, like he could have transferred and
Hmm.
nobody would have been mad about it. They would have been like, "Oh, they're bringing in a bunch of talented receivers."
Yep.
But he said,
I'm
"Wait a
so
minute. If I can't make if I can't start for them, then I don't have what it takes to make it next level." Now he's really saying, "I have what it takes," and
yeah,
I'm excited to see this young brother ball out.
yeah, yeah, man. He's a baller. He's a baller, definitely.
So Swag Buzz, man, this has been a great show, brother. We got to do more of these. I
Oh
love the
yeah,
convos. Uh, it's just in sync, man. And I want to say shout out to the CFL podcast, uh, also Hoop Jargon, um, Off Script, Cut Day Sports, everyone who talks
yeah.
about swag
The
content.
pregame show, man. They
Can't
they
forget
give so
them.
much food and so much footage. I mean, like they're doing an amazing job. So I really want to give a shout out to those guys, especially Neely. That's my frat brother. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got to give a shout out to the Noops. But yeah, man. The pregame show, off script.
1400 Talk It Talk.
Yep. Cut Day Sports doing real good work too. So yeah, man, it's a lot of platforms out there, man. Y'all look them up. Y'all go follow them. Watch the videos, watch the content, because that's what we need. We need swag media to get out there. We need swag media to get big, so we won't have to depend on everybody else. You know, we shouldn't have to depend on these people that cover Big 12, SEC, and all this other kind of stuff to show us some love. We should be able to have our own media platforms, our own YouTube platforms that's going to talk about our sport, our conference, and we can prop each other up. We don't have to depend on anybody else. We can do it ourselves.
No doubt, man. Let's have a productive year for all swag teams. All matter of fact, all HBCUs. There's gonna be a lot of fun games, especially that first one with Alcorn versus North Carolina Central. Uh, can't wait to see Felix Harper, very underrated quarterback with a ton of talent. I like how um, Alcorn runs that RPO system, man. They run it to a T. So shout out to Fred McNair. Shout
Oh
out to
yeah,
all the swag schools, man. Prairie View A&M. I see what y'all doing. That's my sleeper, bro. Prairie View A&M. They ain't getting talked about enough.
Yeah.
But they got a quarterback from Louisville, and I think he's got game.
Yeah. Man, Jackson State can meet Alcorn in the SWAC championship this year. That'll be something.
Oh yeah, we need that to happen. We
got Alcorn is in the West now, so
yes, it is.
Yeah, so
no offense to all the other schools that's in the division, but for the SWACs for ratings, I gotta keep it a buck, bro. They gotta have that Jackson State Alcorn game no matter what.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you, man, their rivalry is so strong with Alcorn and Jackson State. Like my phone blows up when we lose. If when Alcorn beats Jackson State, I get so many text messages, Facebook messages from friends and things like that because I'm from Mississippi, I'm from Jackson, so a lot of people I know went to Alcorn or Jackson State. It was either those one or two schools, pretty much. I mean, some people went to Valley, but mostly it was Jackson State or Alcorn. Especially you want to go into Alcorn. I will give them their props. They got a good nursing program, so a lot of people that want to be nurses they go to Alcorn. But anyway, that's off subject. But anyway, man, my phone blows up when they beat us. So yeah, it's a really heavy rivalry.
Man, it sure is. That's gotta happen, man. That's like to compare it to Division I. That's like Oklahoma versus Texas.
Yeah,
like they can't stand each other, man. Yeah. But we're gonna do some more of these shows, man. Shout out to Swag Buzz again. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to his channel. Show him love, man. This is only beginning of Swag content. There's gonna be more of this. Just imagine when the fall starts, when it officially starts. It's on and popping.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, brother.
No doubt, man. And I'm out.